welcome to Sacred Whisper. I'm so excited and so honored to have one of my beautiful friends on our podcast today. You guys are just going to love her energy. I love watching your stories and your lives. Just like your energy is just so fun. Such a bubbly, just like magnetic is the word I want to use. Energy. And we really connected on a space of our interest with the subconscious mind, because you guys know I am a firm believer we are high vibrating soul having a human experience. You cannot bypass the subconscious mind. Like, we're just all walking around operating like over 90% of what we do on a day-to-day basis with the subconscious mind. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Natasha. Feel free to share anything you want about who you are, what it is that you do, and then we can take it from there.
Perfect. Oh, I'm so honored to be on here. I'm so excited for the subconscious riffing that we are going to do together. Like, absolutely bring it on. So I'd love to just say hello to your audience. I am Natasha Clarke, and I am a subconscious coach and business mentor. And what I specialize in is really simple, soul-aligned strategies and subconscious reprogramming, because like you said, it is so important that you understand and do the work to rewire your subconscious for success. Because, and I'm sure your audience probably knows a lot about the subconscious, because I know you love to kind of riff and teach on it as well. But I think this is the level of success. And that's why I always say to like my audience, why I'm able to like help my clients sell out their launches or like 3x the amount of money they're used to making. Yes, we base it on the strategy, okay? But the majority of it is like a lot of tweaking and a lot of kind of small things. The main work that we do is, for me, working with like ambitious female entrepreneurs, is really helping them break through those subconscious beliefs so that the income ceiling they've got, smash it through. We can dissolve those limiting beliefs and actually scale their business in a way that makes them actually feel good. It doesn't have to be hustle or hard or what we're conditioned or ingrained to believe that it does.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I do in a nutshell.
I'm sitting back in my seat. I can feel that. Okay, tell everyone where you live, because obviously we've got a beautiful accent.
Yes. So I'm from originally London in the UK, but I actually live in Surrey now, which is kind of like the outskirts. I'm a country girl now.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. So I love this conversation so much because it's so wild. What just popped in while you were sharing that is I've been studying. I was like, okay, 2025 is the year we take it up a notch with the mindset as well. Like, there's other intentions as well, but the mindset, when you think about like multiple 6-figure entrepreneurs, 7-figure entrepreneurs, it is rock solid. And they might even not even realize it, but it is definitely at a subconscious level. There is no hustle. There is no, like, it's spaciousness. It is like, I believe in myself and this is where I'm going. That's it. The end.
Yeah. And I was actually talking about this the other day. So I've got like biz besties, right? There's 4 of us. Now we're all coaches, but we all teach very different things. They're probably 2 of them are more based on like strategy, more heavy. But the one thing in common, the common denominator of why we're all so successful is because of our mindsets. Like having that unshakable, rock solid belief in yourself. Because if you've got it, all starts in yourself. Once you've got it in yourself, that then transfers into your conviction behind selling your offer. Like, you see so many people and they're kind of not selling their offers, and not because their offer's not freaking incredible, right? And you're like, that transformation so many people want is because they don't back it with the confidence of themselves, because they are living on autopilot from our reprogramming when we were basically between the ages of 0 to 7. They're replaying those same memories over and over again, yet expecting to get a different result. Because you know what we do? We go, let me invest in more strategy. Let me pivot. Let me just do more. I don't feel like I'm doing enough. Maybe I need to be more visible. No, girl. What you need to do is wake up and realize we need to do this work on a deeper level. Like, there's mindset work and then there's subconscious work.
Oh, 100%.
Like we're talking basically what? Mindset on steroids? Like the subconscious.
Yeah, that just gave me chills.
It does. It rules the show. And like, I love the fact you said that. Think about wealth, right? Which I know we're going to speak about the energetics of wealth. The biggest thing when you look at anybody that's wealthy, what do they have? A great relationship with money, the way they speak, great language around money, and a rock solid belief that money gets to support them. And I think for me, learning that in my own journey has been a game changer, because I'm going to be honest, especially in the beginning, I've been doing business now 6.5 years. At the start, when people used to go, money's just energy and you just need to, and I was like, no, 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 like, I don't believe this. I don't believe that you just think, that you're wealthy and it happens. No, like, I didn't. Now I get it. And I totally get when people are like, okay, when I hit this figure, when I make 10K, when I sell out my launch, that's then when I'll have that good relationship with money. No. What do you think makes the money in the bank account? The work you do on your subconscious mind so that you do trust money. You do have a beautiful, loyal relationship where you totally get that money backs you. Like, money is always going to support you. It's always going to flow.
Yes. Oh my God. And like the nervous system with the capacity to be able to hold and receive it as well. Like your mind is like, yep, we're good. Because I can, like,
Yeah.
when I built my first six-figure business, it wasn't until, like, I want to say probably about a year into the journey that I was finally like, okay, this is happening. But before that, I was like, it's all going to fall apart. I'm freaking out. Like, when is the shoe going to drop? And yeah, like, affirmations, there's a way to build them with the subconscious in mind, but Pinterest affirmations and doing that, like, surface level mindset work is not, it's not gonna
It's not
help.
enough. No,
No.
no. I think it's a good introduction into doing the subconscious
Yeah.
work. And it's not that affirmations don't work, they do, but they only work if you've done the deep work on your subconscious first. And the way I see the energetics is there's an energetic to wealth of attracting wealth, but then there's the energetic of holding it. And I think when I think about this, the earlier stages of my business, I did not even have the energetics of attracting it. I was like, when is my first client going to come? When am I just going to make some money? I just want to get to 10K. I just want to get to 10K. And I was in this kind of hustle and all the strategy, not understanding really the work I needed to be done. And then I got there and obviously made the 10K and brilliant. And as I grew in my business, I also then remembering that I had done the work to attract in the clients, to make the money. No, I didn't understand the work that needs to be done in to hold it. So when I hit my biggest cash month for my business, 60K, yeah, I was like, oh my God, it's amazing. I get to serve these incredible souls. Like, holy hell, I just made in 1 week what I used to work all year for when I was modeling. Like, it was an absolute, like, mind. It was. I was like, oh my God. So I celebrated it, but then I went, oh my goodness, if I don't do this next month, I'm a failure. I'm a fraud. What if this was just a lucky streak? And guess what? Did I make it the following month? No, because my subconscious mind was not aligned to this level of wealth. My nervous system was so spiked, it felt so goddamn scary. And what's really interesting is it's what I've always wanted. I wanted to have that high big cash months. I wanted to be this coach that had this consistency. Yet my conscious goal of wanting it was not aligned to my subconscious to be able to hold it. And this is so important, this work.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. I relate with that so much. It's like you want something so much, and then the energetics of it actually happening. And then what happens after that, it's like, and crash, because it's almost like your mind is looking for ways in which it's like not safe because it didn't feel safe.
No.
Yeah.
Because you're scared that you're going to lose it. And it's not just even about losing it, because I think once you have a blueprint of making money, you can always make money. I think it's more of the identity I took on. So I took on the identity when I didn't make it the following month. I'm a fraud. I'm a failure. I'm not good enough. And then what happens is it doesn't just stay isolated to money or business. It then flows into other areas of your life. It flows into the area of, am I good enough in a relationship? Am I good enough in friendships? And it's like, girl, you didn't make the money you wanted to make. Like, it's not that big of a deal on like a surface level. But when you go deep into subconscious, what I was making it mean about me was huge. And I
Yeah.
had a lot of work that needed to be done on that to heal that, because I think, and something I say all the time, we're walking around as adults, right? But we're not. There's those little inner Natashas, inner little yous that are all walking around, and we need to be healed. We need to be heard. And I think when we think about our money story, mine went way back to, that was a currency of love. So my dad was really into like work hard. He was, Irish. So from that very hustle mentality. So anytime I worked really hard, when I was younger, I had 3 jobs. He'd be like, well done, girl, you're doing amazing. And I was like, brilliant, praise, great. It means I'm doing a good job, being a good girl. And then when it came to money, it was very, make sure you're saving and make sure that, no, don't take that job because you need this. So that was my dad's currency of feeling safe as a dad and a daughter. So even though my dad is passed now, that massively came up when I'd made the money. And then when I didn't the following month, I was like, it's kind of like I went into that inner child again that didn't feel like I had that love, or didn't feel like I could get that currency of recognition. So it's never just about money, is it? It's never about money you want to make. It goes so
No.
much deeper.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I love this. So what was the work that you did around that to be able to shift out of that?
So I had to have the awareness around what was actually coming up, like the thoughts. Okay. First step,
Yeah.
awareness is the first stage, key to change, right? Then second, I need to look into where those beliefs had actually come from. And that's why I can so openly talk about it. Oh, it originated from when my dad, and a story that really is very potent for me is when I was 7 and my dad was really tight on maths, like times tables. So you'd go to school, right? And you would learn two, like 1 times 1 is 2. Like you could do 2, 4, 6, 8. You could like memorize it, couldn't you? Not with my dad. He would then mix it up. So it'd be like 2 2s, you'd be like 4. And then he'd go 7 7s and you're like 49. Like, he had to do that. And I remember this one particular time, so I must have been about 7 and I was sobbing because I'd got it wrong. And he'd go, okay, go next door and learn it again. So I'd go back and learn it again. So it reinforces this belief of getting it wrong. We're scared to get it wrong. So guess what? That came out again when I didn't make the money. I messed up. I got it wrong. My dad wouldn't be proud. Of course I messed it up. It's what I do. So you look at the beliefs that are coming up, then you go that step deeper of what those meanings are. Where have they come from? Is this actually your belief? Because it wasn't. But I'd taken this on for so long that I thought I wasn't good with money. I didn't think I could hold money or be, save it, or I'd held all that, but they weren't my beliefs. And from doing this deep subconscious work, I realized they weren't my beliefs. And I get to go through the process to be able to detach away from it. And I think for me, the biggest part of the work that I needed to do is the identity part, because I had a huge attachment to victim. Didn't realize that. And it felt really hard to be called out for that. I was like, I am not a victim. I am not. I have come off morphine. My dad died. I spent 18 years with bad chronic back pain. Like I was wanted to be the best, but you are. Because even then when I tell you that story, I found it really hard to go, I've met the man of my dreams and I had the most amazing life, because I would go, yeah, but I went out of a dick and he was really horrible and he stole from my family. Or if you went, oh my God, you made so much money in your business. Yeah, yeah, but there were times where I didn't have it, or I was in debt, can you see? I couldn't just sit in the, I had to attach the identity of the victim. And that came up massively. And that was hard to take. I was like, this is deep work. Like, this isn't just about, I'm just going to say I'm a wealthy woman and I'm happy and I'm safe. No, no, I truly needed to do the work. So I actually felt safe to hold money. So yeah, it was like deep work, and it's continuous work. We know with the subconscious, it's not just a one and done. You don't just say a few affirmations or one meditation or do one subconscious track going to bed and like you're like, oh, I'm happy and I'm healed. Like, no, you have got to create this commitment, because as you grow your business, so let's say the clients that when they first come to my membership, they're looking to like make their first 5K, right? So when my clients come to work with you one-on-one, they're making 10K. They're now looking to double that, triple that. We're doing the same work, but it's just on a different level. That's all it is. And that's what I talk about, how it's so important that you commit to doing this work, because it's exactly what it is, isn't it? Work.
Yeah, yeah, literally. Oh my gosh. There's so much here. Like when you said awareness and then like you're like coming down, you're figuring out what it's about, what it's telling you, and then discovering the identity. Like, I hope you guys are listening. Like truly, this is, I don't know, almost every other episode, I'm just like, this is the work. And we're talking about this on social. And I'm like, awareness is the biggest gift that you can give yourself.
Yeah.
And I love what you said too around the victim mentality. I think so many of us are subconsciously struggling with that and we don't even realize it. And it's like, yeah, things are great, but then shit's hitting the fan somewhere else, or, or we're attaching something else to it. And it's like, well, but it gets to be good. But if your mind doesn't get it, then it's like, well, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. And you can try and out strategize, outwork, or out hustle your subconscious mind, but it's never going to work. And I actually remember speaking on this. A client came to me and we were working on her money beliefs, right? Because she wanted to get her business, she wanted to double her income that she was making. And so she was like, I really want to make 20K, like I do. And she'd really convinced me. I was like, no, I know, I feel it. I know you want to. All her strategy, she had her ducks in a row. But when we actually got down to the work of it, what came up is secondary gain. So it's when you're in victim, let's say you're in the victim of the struggling coach, let's say, right? You're making 5K a month, but it's feeling really hard and really hustling. You want to be making 10K. The problem here is the subconscious mind deems that as unsafe. It's like, whoa, we're not used to being out there. That is just the unknown. It means it's a threat. So I'm going to literally keep you where you should be within your safety zone. The problem with this is you have a secondary gain to staying in your comfort zone. So this client, her secondary gain was because she was the struggling coach, because she's like, oh, I only made 5K this month. I'm trying really hard. She got so much love and attention from her husband. It was like, oh, you're trying so hard, darling. Yeah, we've got to keep going. She also got a lot of attention from her family. It was, oh my goodness, like you just seem to hustle. You're working more hours than me, and yet you don't seem to be hitting the money that you wanted, but you just keep going. It was attention. Consciously, it might not be the attention that you want, but subconsciously, it felt safe to receive that because maybe you didn't get it as a child. So now all of a sudden you're getting it. It doesn't matter if it's because you're struggling. It doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. So it felt really unsafe for her to be like, oh my goodness, imagine if I did make 10K. My family don't even make that. Like no one has ever made that type of money. If I was to continuously make that, let's say 120K for the year. So that felt really unsafe. And she was so scared that she would lose her really close connection with her family. And also the dynamic with her husband. She was so scared she wouldn't get that attention if she wasn't. So can you see, it didn't matter if I told her how to go viral on social. It didn't matter if I said to her, here's some affirmations or listen to this track. We had to do this deep work for her subconscious to understand it was safe to make this money. It was safe to come out of her victim mode and to not have that as a secondary gain anymore, because we can create our own secondary gain from you hitting your goal, which she did. And it didn't happen overnight. It took us 6 months before we could get there. Of course, you can have really quick shifts, can't you? But when something is very deep rooted, and you're in that long-term mentorship, you can, of course, create that impact, can't you? So I think for her, yeah, she hit a goal, which was incredible. And we were all really so happy for her. But to me, it was more about who she'd become, how she was able to have this loving, safe marriage, whatever the amount of money that she earned. And she could still have that affection and attention from her husband without it coming from a place of her business having to struggle.
Oh my gosh. So how did you help, or how do you help clients create that secondary gain? What does that look like for you?
So we have to choose what would actually feel good for the subconscious mind so it doesn't reject it. So we can say, oh, it'd feel really safe for us to make 15K, because subconscious mind doesn't understand that. And as you know, it doesn't understand the word safe. We have to create those feelings. So she had down pat how she feels when she was struggling and really knew these feelings. So instead of us getting her to the money first, we had to then adapt and associate the feeling of what it would feel like. How would she like the attention and affection to come from her husband? And then we actually had to communicate that with him so that he could understand it. And to him, the subconscious was like, what is the name of the Lord is this, right? So she had to have some kind of open conversations to him and like, just roll with it here. And what we had to do was create those emotions so she could feel the feelings of it now, so that a subconscious mind could associate that emotion with the sense of safety. And then, for example, I might give her like small little tasks. I'd be like, okay, I want you to go away and let's say, you said you were going to go consistently live on IG, let's just say as an example. So even though it's strategy, we're rewiring her subconscious mind to say, when I say I'm going to do something, I will do it. She does it and it feels safe. Or let's say I say to her, okay, I want you to reach out to all your warm leads today. Whereas before that would feel really unsafe. She'd be like, what if they said no? What if it's rejection? And I'm like, no, we're teaching the subconscious mind that these things can be safe. So guess what? She'd reach out and a client would say, no, I'm not winning for this investment right now. That's okay. So what that aligned her subconscious with, I don't die. Yeah. I can reach out to clients. They can say no. I can see it as rejection, or I can see it as she's just not ready just yet. And that's cool. And not make it mean anything about her. So we could shift the identity she had so closely, attached herself to gently break that away with safety that made her go, So when she was feeling those feelings, the funny is when she did hit the 10K, she was like, Tash, it's like I've already done this before, because those feelings were so known to her subconscious mind. It was kind of like, I don't know, a bit like deja vu, where you go, oh, this feels like, yeah, because the feeling is just the feeling. You don't want the 100K. I'm just riffing here with numbers, but whatever, you can interchange it. You don't want the money. What you want is the feeling. But guess what? We can hack the system by feeling the feelings now, having that confidence now. What does it actually mean as for you to show up in the identity of a six-figure coach? What does it mean for you to step into the multi-six-figure service provider or the seven-figure author, whatever it may be? What does it feel like to experience that right now. And I don't mean fake it till you make it. I believe in being it until you see it. So you've got to be it, you know?
That again.
Yeah.
Like louder for the people in the back. Be
I
it
know,
till
right?
you see it. Yes. Ooh, I like that because I really, really love the energy of embodiment. I mean, really, you're not after whatever it is that you desire. It'd be cool to have that, but if you feel like crap still when you have it, then it wasn't like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
It's,
my gosh.
it's, it, it's tapping into that identity, isn't it? That who do I want to be? How do I want to feel? What do you want business to feel like? Because I think we can get wrapped up, and social media does a great job at making us feel like we need these milestones in order for us to feel worthy and deserving and enough, don't we? We can get so hooked into this that I'm not at this level, which means this. Or we could look at it and go, how do I want to build my business? What does freedom look like for me? So for me, I've got massive goals that where I want to take the business. But for me, business, the most important thing is freedom. So I work 3 days a week and run 2 businesses so I can spend the rest of the time with Santiago, my little son. That to me is freedom. I've spent this morning at a spa with my sisters. You know, having that freedom, it isn't, and I think I learned the hard way. I attached so much of my self-worth to the amount of money I made. So when I was smashing it in business, I felt like an absolute badass. I was like unstoppable, driving the dream car. It validated me massively. And it was a big wake-up call when I had to get rid of my car. This was when I was modeling. I had a white Mercedes. I had to get rid of my car and I had to buy my baby sister's Mini that she was getting rid of. That was a massive wake-up call, right? I was devastated because I was like, who am I without the nice car? Who am I that I'm not making this money anymore? And that's really sad to think that I felt that way around the number that was in my bank account. And that actually came up. So I'd worked on that. And then that came up back up in 2022 when I literally felt I had the worst year of my life.
Oh my
In
gosh. I
like,
feel like we've lived parallel lives. Like
I know we're like twin flames or something.
I
We're like,
know it's crazy because like I think we talked about this before too, but like 2020 year was like a great year and then it would and I was like, whoa, that took a turn. But yes, okay, continue.
and it massively knocks you, doesn't it? Because for me, I just got told that my sister had 5 years to live, and like my family is my world. My mother-in-law died. Like so much happened that year that massively knocked me, my identity, my confidence, which then massively knocked the business. I wasn't making the money I was. I didn't feel like I was making the impact. I was doubting, was I even good enough? Like, am I even good in what I do anymore? Like, should I even be a coach? Like, I went for a massive thing with this, and so much of again, my identity was wrapped into the success. And that's where I really found RRT. That's where I found the deep subconscious work, which was able to shift that. And I now can thank RRT for this because I don't have any trigger around money and my worth anymore. So whether it's a low cash month or a high cash month, I have got no attachment anymore to that being anything to do with me. And I'm just like, that's huge because I'd spent so long that being so attached to now be so detached away from it. I'm like, the business is the business, the data is the data. That is what it is. It didn't knock me or my confidence. And I'm like, wow, this shit needs to be in every single entrepreneur's toolbox. Like, seriously.
Literally, like every person on this planet, could you imagine how different the world would be?
Oh,
Like,
could you imagine? Like,
oh,
every soul not being triggered and not doubting if they're good enough or deserving for the success. And we do get to have it all in whatever capacity it is that you want. Could you imagine if we all were walking around with regulated nervous systems and like a subconscious mind that actually supports you and not tries to sabotage you? I mean, hello.
my God, like this is actually available to you. And I'm curious, I love this conversation. I'm wondering like what this looks like for you on a day-to-day basis as far as your own subconscious work.
Yeah. I get up every day at 5 a.m. to do probably around an hour. It depends what time Santi gets up because it can be different each day, but to do at least an hour of my own work. Like I embody it, what I actually, I'm a practice what I preach. I'm not saying do subconscious work. It's really powerful. And then I'm sitting here not doing anything. Like I truly believe in it. And it's because, and I know everyone's different. I'm not saying you have to get up at 5 a.m. in order for you to be a success. Absolutely not. Do I think you need to fit it into your day? For sure. Before you even think about jumping into those emails, serving your clients, you need to have done the work on yourself, because we are human. Even as subconscious coaches and mentors, we have beliefs that come up. We have old wounds that we need to kind of work on. So for me, I go deep. I always go straight into, I love journaling, just so I can kind of brain dump everything that's kind of into my head. And then I'll do some subconscious exercises. I might put on an activation track. I might do some EFT. Like each day is kind of different, and I love to read. So they're like the non-negotiables, where I am feeding my brain, I am fueling my soul, and I'm working on my subconscious. So guess what? When Santiago jumps out of bed, I'm like, boom, music's blaring on, let's go. My husband's waking up, he's like, mi amor, and I'm good to go. Whereas I couldn't give everything I do to my son and to my husband and to my community and my clients if I didn't actually top my own self up. So to me, that's a non-negotiable wherever I am. Even at the spa this morning, I would get up and I would do the work before my sisters got up. That's how much. It's not even a choice anymore. It's more just kind of imprinted into who I am and what it is that I do.
Yeah. And I saw your story that you were doing subconscious work at the spa, and I was like, yes, that is so luxury. It's so
Oh,
good.
it's so good. And when I was driving back, I was saying this to my sister in the car, like, normally we're like this, chitter chat, chitter, but we actually didn't. We were just so zened. And I was just so in this zone of, this feels good. Like, I'm so excited for the day. I just felt so regulated. I was just like, oh, maybe I need to buy a spa and move into a spa or something and just have a spa session every morning. I don't know, but I'm definitely making that maybe a non-negotiable monthly thing, maybe.
Yeah, I wonder if there's like a spa membership. Like, excuse me while I just buy a spa. Amazing. So I want to respect your time. Is there anything that you didn't cover that you're like, oh my gosh, I really wanted to riff on this?
I think the one thing that I speak, and we've touched upon it, but the one thing that I would love for your audience to take away from this is strategy is important. And this is coming from I'm a business mentor. Like the strategy is important, okay? But what is way more important, that you do the work on your subconscious. Because what I see so many entrepreneurs do is when something doesn't feel like it's working, they automatically invest into the business because that feels safer. That feels like, oh, I don't mind spending 5K on the business because it's for the business. Yet when it comes to you, you're like, oh, should I be? Yes, you should. And just to touch upon, in 2022, when I had that year, I invested £30,000 into strategy because I was like, okay, well, this isn't working. I need to fix this, and this isn't working, so I need to fix that. And what that £30,000 investment taught me was, I did not need strategy. I needed to work on myself. I needed to heal my inner child. I needed to work on my relationship with myself and the beliefs that were coming up that has obviously had been stuck for so long. And I was just literally playing the same memory over and over again. That's why when my clients come to me and my audience speak to me, I'm like, I get it. I've been there. Like, I know what you're going through. I've experienced that. And that's what I wanted to share with you. Yes, at the start of my business, I felt like that. But also then back in 2022, I also felt like this. And this is how I work through it. Because I think it's so important to be transparent. We want to keep it real. And I don't want to proclaim that just do this one strategy and you'll become a gazillionaire, because I absolutely think that's bullshit. And I think it's actually quite toxic to think that you just need to do this one thing. If it is coming down to one thing, the one thing you need to do is work on yourself, because with that unshakable belief system, you can execute any goddamn strategy you want. You can. Every strategy works. Everything does. Like, you think about our businesses, you think about 5 other people's businesses. We might all execute very different strategy. Why are they all working though? Because we've done the belief work on ourselves. We're coming from a place of trust. We're not, in the self-doubt stage. We're not coming from a place of lack or scarcity or, oh, is this going to work? Is it not? We're coming from a place of conviction, of confidence, from that energy of like, yeah, I am the main character. I do get to win. Winners win. It always works out. Okay, that didn't work out. That was just a setback. Let's keep going and keep going. And you have to have that resilience. And I feel the reason why the successful entrepreneurs become the successful entrepreneurs is because they've been through the crap. They have had to be on their knees and deal with it, but they didn't give up. And what it's grown is the most important muscle that you need in business, which is resilience. Because if you don't have resilience, don't do business, because you need it. And if you don't regulate your nervous system, every single thing on social media, whether it's a default client payment, whether it's someone else, just you want to make 20K for the month and someone just made it in a day, that will trigger you. Someone you message doesn't message you back, that will trigger you. Everything in your business and your life will trigger you if you don't actually work on what needs to become untriggerable, which is yourself.
Mm. Yes.
That was it, really. It's not the
That was
strategy.
it. That's all. Oh my gosh. You said main character energy, and I like got full body chills. That was my 2024 phrase.
Was it?
Main character energy. It was like, let's just own it. Like, this is the year. This is the year. Clarity. Own it. Front and center. Like, spotlight. Yes.
And you did. You
Yeah.
absolutely
Yeah.
nailed that.
Woo.
Yeah.
Chills.
Oh,
Yeah. It's like,
what's your 2025 word?
it's I am a storm.
Wow.
Unbothered. Okay. Woo, chills again. Unbothered, untamed, unafraid, untriggered. Yeah. It's like the
Yes.
world can be thrashing around us, but we're in the eye. We can witness everything
Oh,
without reacting, but responding.
yeah. Oh, I felt that. I love that.
Yes. Oh, I'm like, watch out, 2025. Here we come.
I know, right?
Oh my gosh.
Here
Okay.
he comes.
Where can people find you?
The best place to find me is Instagram, and it's
Okay.
at Natasha Clarke Coaching. Yeah, that
Okay.
is where I kind of hang out every day.
Amazing. I will put that in the show notes for everyone to easily find you. And then, was there anything that you're currently working on that you wanted to share with everyone? They're like, oh my gosh, go check this out.
Yes, I've actually created, I used to do a live program, which was called Conscious Coach. I've actually now made this an online course because I want my clients to come into this and have lifetime access and be able to have it at a pace that feels really good for them. So they can come into Conscious Coach at, let's say you're looking to sign your first client, second client, third client. We can deal with that. But also you can stay within Conscious Coach when you're looking to scale your business. I just want to help as many women as I possibly can. I think it's been my mantra for years, and will continue to like leverage this even more for next year. I just want to get this subconscious reprogramming work into so many female entrepreneurs' hands, because I just know the impact it will not only just have on them, their lives, their families' lives, but their business, their audiences, their clients' results. So I think for me, I've then spent the last probably 6 weeks really kind of revamping that, adding in even more powerful and potent content, which I'm just so excited for.
Yay. So, what happens when they go through Conscious Coach?
So you come in and it's an ACI method. So it's awareness, clearance, and identity. So we look at very much like we speak about in this pod. We speak about, we look at and have the awareness around the beliefs that you are experiencing right now. Okay. Then what the emotions that are attached to that. And then what I do for you using our RT is clear that for you. So in the activations, you could be feeling something could have triggered you. And then you literally can pop me into your ears and we can clear this, shift it and melt it for you. And then we don't just leave it there. Then we look at the identity. So something I like to say is the badass CEO. Like that's my higher self. Like I am like freaking Tash is smashing it as the badass, right? So I get the girls to obviously tap into theirs and what theirs looks like. And we go into energy, we go into obviously the feminine, the masculine. But for me, it was really important to have something. Whereas so many of my clients are like, Tasha, I would just love to live with you. I would just love to have you 24/7, like your energy, you're this. And I'm like, well, now you can with Conscious Coach. Like, pop me in if you need a prep talk or if you need to clear something pretty quickly. Because who wants to stay with the emotions? You know, I remember when I suddenly crippled with anxiety and I wouldn't have the tools to be able to kind of navigate that. That can be really consuming, and it's all you can think about, especially when you're worried about money. It's all you think about is money, right? That it is. And people go, stop worrying about money. You're like, yeah, but I can't help but think about it. So I don't want the girls to go through that and come from that energy. I want to be able to clear that so they can really feel neutral. I want them to make more money than they ever thought was possible, but not from a place of need or must or pressure, but from a place of, oh my goodness, that felt good. Oh, that just felt like play. Like the more money, the more fun I have, the more money I make. If I want it to feel neutral, which I know isn't the most sexiest word.
Right.
So I'm trying to find a different word, but that's what I want. I want my clients to just feel neutral. Like, of course I make that. Of course I create the impact to do. Of course I'm main character. Like, I knew I just needed the energetic shift from where I was to where I wanted to get to. And now I'm there, of course. And I would say, I think the best thing about this is it helps you stop looking at your 3D. This program helps you to stop looking at what's in your online bank account. It stops you from looking at your Instagram followers and the reality that you're not experiencing. It actually gets your RAS to look at what you do want. Because when you focus on that, it expands. Because right now you're so much in the hustle of, I have not gone viral, or my Instagram's not doing this, and that client defaulted on her payment, and I'm not at 20K yet, and all of this, when really we're like, we need to be focusing on this, because that's how we're going to get you there.
So good. I just like, yes, you just dropped the mic. I love your energy so much. Thank you so much for your
Oh,
time today and for sharing your wisdom and your energy with us. And I'll make sure to drop the Conscious Coach link in the show notes as well. So, all right.
oh, amazing. It's been a
Yeah.
pleasure. Thank you so freaking much. I love you. I love your energy and I love being here.
Love, love, love you.